So guys, this week I want to talk about bad asexual representation. And I don't want to be one of those people who criticises every bit of representation we get, but sometimes the way people are introduced to the idea of asexuality can be really bad. For example, this is Billy. Billy adores medical dramas. This one particular medical drama he watches features a patient who says they're asexual. The drama might have done their research and explained what asexuality is, but at the end of the episode, it becomes apparent that he was never asexual after all. Instead, he had a medical condition that meant he wasn't experiencing sexual attraction. Now Billy watches that episode, and it's the first thing he thinks of when his friend tells him they're asexual. His response is to ask the friend if they've gone to a doctor. Billy thinks that asexual people always have something wrong with them. You can see how that's a problem. Now, this is Stephanie. Stephanie loves smutty fanfiction, and there's nothing wrong with that. However, one day she encounters a fanfiction where one of the characters claims they're asexual, only to have sex and realise they're not at all. Now, if Stephanie had supplemented that reading with other fanfics about characters who were asexual and stay asexual throughout the whole story, maybe it would be okay. After all, some people do realise later on they're not asexual. However, now, when one of Stephanie's friends comes out as asexual to her, there's a little voice in the back of her head saying that maybe that'll change when they get a boyfriend. Now, this is Deb. Deb has gone her whole life not really understanding there's anything other than gay and straight. Then she starts watching this TV show about a sexy, emotionless genius. People in the show call this man a robot or a sociopath. Deb reads an interview by one of the writers and discovers that they write the character as asexual. It's the first time she's heard the term, but she gathers from context it means he isn't interested in love or relationships. Now, she's not only confused about the difference between asexuality and aromanticism, she just thinks all asexual people are emotionless. This is Alex. They are a huge fan of rom-coms. One thing they've spotted a lot of in rom-coms are characters who are scared of or uninterested in sex. Then the girl or guy of their dreams comes in, sweeps them off their feet, and it turns out they're very interested in romance or sex after all. Now, when someone comes to them and tells them they're not interested in sex, they, just like Stephanie, assume they haven't met the right person yet. To be fair to those kind of romantic movies and storylines, they never say the character's asexual or aromantic. But it's still that kind of thing. This is James. James has just read a book about an asexual character. In this book, the character says they're asexual because they're disgusted by sex. James has never heard of the orientation, but feels pretty good about himself now he understands what it is. However, when someone tries to explain to him that asexuality is just not experiencing sexual attraction, he immediately comes out with, "Nah though bro, you can't be asexual, because I saw this thing that said asexuality was when you were like repulsed by sex. And like, you don't give a shit about sex either way, so like, you can't be ace, mate." Now I'll be honest with you, I'm the kind of person who thinks it's better to have an asexual character who's presented kind of badly than it is to have no asexual character at all. Because once someone knows asexuality actually exists, they might be more open to researching it or hearing from actual asexuals about what it's actually like. However, I do acknowledge that flawed asexual representation can be incredibly frustrating, especially if you're someone who doesn't fit the version of asexuality they've wrongly portrayed. And those are some of my thoughts on bad asexual representation. If any of you guys can recommend me any books or TV shows with an asexual character, preferably TV shows where I don't have to watch 4 seasons to reach said character, I would be really thankful. 1, because I love watching and reading things with asexual characters in, and 2, because I'd like to start reviewing them on this channel. I already know about the TV show Sirens, which a couple of you have suggested, and I've watched the first season, but I believe there's a second. Once I'm up to date, I plan on doing a review video of that. I also already know about the Ultraviolet series by RJ Anderson, and I've already mentioned it in a video. But anything else would be great. Thanks guys, bye!